Almost looking to take evasive action, but he was committed to the stroke. It's come off the middle of the bat, and he gets 4 off the square. 6 without loss. Plays the block this time, gets in line. It's a fuller length delivery from Harshid, and this is key to bowling in the opening stages of a very important competition, of a very important match, the semi-final. They know who the opponents are for tomorrow afternoon. I'm sure the top has dried out quite nicely, so it won't be too much of an issue as far as gripping the ball is concerned. This time does push to the fielder deep on the edge of the circle, and they've overrun the first run, so unable to take the overthrow. A good sharp single by the skipper. He's on 7. It's 7 without loss with 1 ball remaining, and alongside me 6, Sachel Elwa. Not Daryl Cullen.
Afternoon, Aslam Kota.
Off. It's off. Thank you.
Match number 2. One of our favorite sides in this tournament, Tanzania.
Hanbe off the mark, and it's a tidy first over from the bowler, but the boundary was to the advantage. 8 without loss after 1.
Yeah, a neat start, a tidy start. No alarm bells, and particularly that push from Maklanka in the covers almost gives you an indication how he's going to approach this. Vinu Blakarishnan, Valentine Bazo, Inzamamul Master. What can you do to take your side to the final tomorrow? Fantastic opening over from Harshid, generating that slight movement that he's been able to generate throughout this tournament.
That's it.
No hand there. Also within a bit of form as well, such as the case at the back end of a tournament. Just adjusting their field. They've got the 1 slip, so they're trying to get third man between that slip and that short third, or perhaps gully area.
Wide.
Yeah, well, the gully's not going to come into play if it's down the leg side. Wide. I've just enjoyed the way they've played, Tanzania. From game 1, arrived, came, played, 10 wickets, waited for the next game. Just following the ball there with his blade. No hand there. Went past the man who's at the point.
It's a very deep gully and a wide slip. So in other words, no first slip. There's a fielder in second slip, and then a wide, deep gully, and then backward point, cover, mid-off on the offside. Oh, this is good bowling by Salim. He's kept it straight. And now that they've played a number of games, each one has played 3, you feel that they've acclimatized themselves, and also acclimatized themselves to playing back-to-back matches. Some of the teams have had to play 2 games in a row. Tanzania on the arrival had to play 2 matches on 1 day.
Lovely touch. Shrugs it off his hip for a single.
That's still a touch.
Karabo Motlanthe,
That's leg.
the captain. And Reginald Nihonde.
A little bit.
And it's their partnership that got them going in this tournament. Nihonde and Motlanthe. Salim Jumbe.
Love studying the action of these bowlers. It's almost so natural in their athleticism. It's a beautiful action. Wonderful delivery as well to the left-handed skipper. It's a good, powerful run-up, pumping the elbows, and then gets into a wonderful position as he jumps into his delivery stride. And they do talk about a good solid base and balance on the run-up because it allows you to bowl with discipline. That allows the bowlers to actually keep their radar and straight. If they flay about and their arms swing all over the show, it somehow just makes them that much more loose when they need to release the delivery. So very impressive.
Short, top edge, past the keeper, a few bounces and it will race away for 4 towards fine leg. 2 overs gone, 14 for no loss.
You just get the feeling that in the longer version, these bowlers will be very effective because they can bowl to those type of set fields simply because they generate good speeds. I'm sure well above 135, in cases above 140 as well. In T20 cricket, it's almost criminal. Top edge, runs away for 4, and you feel aggrieved that you haven't done your job. So it does show the different formats also, just demand differently from the bowler. And of course, you have to have the mindset to be able to sort of contend with the different formats you play in.
Rashid will get his second over. There's shape as well. Off the pad, leg buys will be called. No. Motlanthe, the captain, yesterday played all his shots, getting himself into form, getting his final eye in before knockouts. Stays leg side a few times. We've seen him in this innings a couple of times already.
Wonderful 50. Makes batting look so easy. He has so much of time, both on the leg and offside, and leads the team well.
This shape lunges forward through the gap, 4 runs.
That's a quality square drive. And this is the difference with some of the other top batsmen, not getting to the pitch of the ball, leading with that head and shoulder, getting into a good position, and then just presenting the full face of the bat. Glorious stroke for 4. Wicketkeeper coming down is a side-on view in good control.
I almost want to ask the producer to clip this for me and save it for me because this is beauty. Legs, eagerness, it shows his intensity as well. Rashid Khan.
Coming around the wicket.
There it is. Past the man at point. 4 more. 4 more.
This is a sign of a class batsman. When offered to come onto the front foot, he's there. And then rocked onto the back foot with the bowler now deciding to come around the wicket. He gets into such a good position and then slices this down towards the third man boundary for 4.
It started wide. He came around the wicket and continued wide outside off stump and got the treatment. Such is the key opening the batting in white ball cricket. The ability to manipulate those gaps. And so then when you are able to put it away, when they are good deliveries, you can leave them. Botswana still smiles for now because they're going at just 9 and over.
Yeah, just keep it together, Nihondo and Motlhanka. Don't lose the plot. Great start, almost 10 runs and over.
And to manufacture such, open the blade and run it down to third man is still very useful in white ball cricket to just rotate the strike. And it's frustrating from a fielding point of view, the left-hand, right-hand combination, because with every run scored, you have to adjust the field and do the crossover. If you're at point, you have to run over. Fuller, slower, end of the over. 3 gone, 24 for no loss.
Well, those pictures we got of his previous innings, 56 of 42, 5 fours and 1 6. It took a fantastic run out to actually get to stop Motlhanka in his tracks, because it looked like there was no stopping him in that particular match where they ended up on 185. And he's continuing. He found form in that particular match and clearly looking very strong. That was against Mozambique. Venubala Kishan, Valentine Mbazo, Inzama Master, we've seen all of them. Some powerful hitting as well. Dhruv Maisuria is the bowler that we're all looking forward to watch again. He's the top wicket taker in the tournament so far. And Salim Jumbe has had a very good first over. Just 6 runs coming off it, including a top edge boundary.
Digs it out to Motlhanka. Quickly through for a single. Hey, you talk about playing the longer format. The longer format would be one-day cricket for them. 50 overs, where then having to put together 4 overs, now you almost have to put together 10.
There is another very important point, and I know time and money and everything is the issue. But it'd be good that if these teams can get to play 2-day matches.
Edge, healthy one, but it was guided by Nohende towards third man for a single.
Well, he got 41 in that same match of 36, did Nohende. They put on a partnership of 86 in quick time. Yeah, he looked in control there. It's one thing if you get into that position and then you hang your bat and you're unsure, but if you go through with it and opening the face, you know you're going to get some reward.
Flick, and excellent fielding at mid-on. Excellent stuff. There'll be claps all around to encourage such.
That's a good delivery, because it is, although it's full, it's at good pace. So the batsman not in that position to get into a run scoring position, just a block. And that been slightly shorter, he would have been able to go through with the drive and perhaps even pick up a boundary.
Straight out towards the legs, and it's flicked nicely towards final leg. Leg by off the pads. Yeah, I know a few primary schools that play 2-day games. Moving into high school as well. There are some 2-day games there.
They play a lot of bilateral friendlies. So again, there's an expense, whoever's traveling to the other country. And days away from work and all of those things also make it difficult. But it may be a suggestion that they need to look into it, just to develop Good firm looking drive. You can see admonishes himself. He knows it was straight to the fielder at extra. I'd like to see that because, and I don't want viewers to think that this is just a thing out of the purest book, but it's also part of the development of their cricket, because you need to have the basics in the game, whatever you're doing, batting or bowling.
Steps across the line, Mutlanka drops his hand, soft hands to pick up a single to end the 4th over. 29 for no loss.
You know, he's come around the wicket as Salim Jumbe, and he's kept it as tight as possible to that 4th stump line. And he hasn't allowed Mutlanka to score runs of him. He immediately identified that front foot's not the way to invite Karabo. So going back to Jumbe, just kept it out outside the off stump. So his awareness is so key to the way he's bowled, Salim Jumbe. Very impressive. So inside of the power play with 2 remaining, spinner in operation.
Yeah, why not? Generally see this from captains, even with the more established nations, wanting to have a look at the spin option within the power play. Yes, it's only 2 fielders outside the circle. Because it's 2 more overs, they're looking for a miss hit, because they're trying to get as much as they can within the first 6. So they're looking for a blemish here more than anything.
Well, the openers have got off to a good start against the seamers, even though Jumbe has been exceptional. He's only gone for 10 runs in his 2. The last one, just 4 runs coming off it. They've decided spin is maybe an option. Too slow, too wide, chopped down, straight to the fielder and straight between his legs. That's not going to please the bowler nor the skipper.
Yeah, but the bowler won't be pleased with his start as well, with the extra bounce. Waist high for Mutlanka, and he just helps himself. Steps across the line again. Oh, excellent this time around. Makes up for the previous ball. So it's just a single.
Well, it's not a good start by Anil Akil. 2 short deliveries outside the off stump to a form batsman who has fine footwork, but this is indeed a very good stop. It was an awkward bounce, but he got his hand to it, pushed it wide, and that would have run away for 4 as well. Akil just making sure that his square leg fielder is alert to what may evolve out of this delivery.
Much better. A lot fuller. He's got protection on the offside. Picked up outside off stump into the gap on the leg side. Long on, does the fielding. He'll pick up 2.
Played with a friend who was a fine off-spin bowler. I'm not going to name him because he's watching. He's retired now. And whenever he bowled to left-handers, he just didn't get it right. Very seldom. So I don't know what it was all about. I don't know if it's the same with Anil Akil.
Ooh, sounded like he had chopped it on. Bottom edge. Survives. Flicked away, pick up a single to end the 5th over in this second semi-final of the Africa Cup T20 tournament. 37 for no loss, Botswana batting first.
37 for no loss. 5 overs bowled. One more. This is the final power play over. What a match we had this morning. It almost seemed like at some stage, Gerald, both teams were trying very hard to lose that game, and both had the game in their grasp. Uganda finishing up as victors. Dots, that's what it's all about here. You can string together dots, builds pressure, and then the batters start taking risks. Atlanta's played nicely, 28 of 18, as he did in the previous match.
He has played very well. He's a classy left-hander. Just surprised that he hasn't really got to play elsewhere in the world. He'd hold his own, I think, in first-class cricket in South Africa.
This one's pulled away. There's nobody back there, so that's going to be a boundary. Too short at that pace. Certainly don't want to be dragging it down like that, Salim. You're right. Mutlanka's look good. He's very strong square of the wicket. Looks like he's a good manipulator of the ball. Can work balls into gaps. Difficult. Some batters are difficult to bowl to. They're difficult to bowl dot balls to and contain. Does look like one of those. Nicely controlled. It just rolled his wrist and controlled it. We'll try and hit that short ball too hard. Nahondi. Sun is shining. There was rain predicted for this morning, and that's exactly what happened. This is hit over mid-wicket. It's going to be a teaser. Akil is after it. Oh, now you may want to have a look at that. Was he in contact with the ball while his foot touched the rope? Because it did look like his foot touched the rope. Let's have a look. I'm afraid that's 4. Was a good effort. He just lost the ball somewhere along the line and tried to push the ball back into play, but he missed it, and then it was in touch with his body while his foot touched the boundary rope. 6 overs bowled, 45 for no loss.
Ball on body, finding the rope there. Oh, we've been blessed with such wonderful pictures.
So 28 for Mutlanka, a skipper, and Honde 14. It's a good start.
The approach has been excellent here. Let's put aside this morning's match. It was a different type of match, different circumstances, overs reduced in that. But this pattern, a good power play, not losing wickets, maximum 2. 45's been there and thereabouts. That's not bad at all. And then that middle period and the whole story of having wickets in hand. So they're well placed here, Botswana. They just need to make sure that someone in their top 3, because that's where their strength is. Someone in their top 3 needs to get that 60-70. Captain Mutlanka at the toss spoke about they want 160 there and thereabouts. And you feel he's the man. He's got the start now.
Yeah, 56 of 42 deliveries against Mozambique. And he was run out in the end.
Just on the captain again, he strikes me as a player that's just lacks that bit of confidence. And I think bigger runs on a bigger stage will give him a lot more confidence. I'd really encourage him to believe more in his ability. We saw he played, as you mentioned, Hussein, he likes playing square of the wicket. But there's an ease about the way that he plays. Good footwork, timing, good hands.
This is hit over mid-wicket. One bounce, probably into the boundary. And 50 up.
This was a good shot. The shot was on, the length was too full. That is the shorter boundary. We spoke about players from the start of this tournament looking to sweep. And there we go. On that back knee, that is how you hit the slog sweep. Left foot's out the way. Good head position. And from there, it's just a question of following through with the stroke.
Driven firmly down the ground. Good fielding. You do feel the Tanzanians are a lot more switched on in the field, although there's been a few misfields. I did see one in Akil's first over. But by and large, overall in the tournament, the catching's been good, the fielding's been good, the awareness is good. They're going to have to switch on now, getting to a crucial stage in the semi-final. This is the knockout stage, remember that. So you allow this game to slip even just a few overs, it can run away from you very quickly. Things happen quickly in T20 cricket. Over bowls, 7 bowls, 52 for no loss. Let's go down to Aslam Kota, who's got a special guest with him.
Yes, indeed I do, and it's the deputy chairman of the ICC and also the chairman of the associate membership of African cricket, of the associate nations. Good afternoon, thank you for your time, Imran.
Pleasure to be here.
When did you arrive?
I arrived 2 days ago.
And you've got to watch some of the cricket. How has the quality impressed you and the organization?
Well, I must say it's been a big surprise because administratively, and from the perspective of the associates, I think after watching this, the organization, the standard of cricket, I think the paradigms of the game are shifting. It's not only a full member club anymore, but I think the aspirational hopes of the associates are being realized through these kind of tournaments.
Talking about the associates, I mean, it's a game that's growing globally. We know in Africa there are 22 members and hopefully there'll be 28 at the end of it. What do the entire associates, or how much are they made up of?
Well, there are 95 associates, and the wish and the desire of the associates, of course, is to be a full member and to participate in the competition structure of international cricket. And until that becomes possible, the dream of each associate is to play as much international cricket as may be possible. And I think the ICC is structuring competition structures that make that more possible. But regionally, you have tournaments like the present one. The Africa Cricket Association has spawned this tournament, which I must say is a boon for the African associate countries.
95 nations, and as you mentioned, a lot of them are split into different regions, but it must still be quite a handful to organize from the international level.
Yes, it is, but that's what the function of an international body is. So at an international level, we have the ICC tournaments, and there are 5 regions, Africa being one of them, and each region organizes their own tournaments as well.
Well, the other point to mention then is that how do you feel from an ICC point of view? We've been hearing from most of the associates who are playing here about more funding and facilities. Where do the ICC come in when it comes to facilities and funding?
Well, there's always a desire for more funding. I think in the right cycle that is completed, there is going to be more money that's going to come in, and I think hopefully the associates will receive more money. But it's not just about receiving more money, it's about how you spend it, right? And I must say that the structure by which the ICC distributes these funds has made the associate membership more responsible. And I think I dare say, notwithstanding I'm saying it publicly, that to a very large degree, the associates are very well managed. And there's a scorecard and there's a competition structure by which they are paid on a scorecard on the basis of achievements and performances, unlike the full members who get it as of right.
Well, that's a way to inspire them to reach greater heights, obviously. The quality of the cricket over the last two days, the semi-final this morning that was so close. Your opinion, how do you see the game progressing, especially in this region?
I was saying to someone that the ICC has, in the associate membership, what countries that we identify as high-performance countries, right? After having seen the general standard of the 8 teams in the Africa Cup, I must say we must revisit the concept of what are high-performance countries, because all of them, in my view, are playing cricket at a high-performance level. And I commend each cricket board for the work it has put in to bring the standard of cricket in Africa to the level that we are seeing in this competition.
Well, Imran, I must tell you that that is very much in line with some of the observations we've made during our commentary, Del Cullinan being among us, is that we've identified that there perhaps needs to be sort of another level of coaching and instruction involved in most of the countries, because the growth is rapid.
Yes, it is. And as I said, we may have to revisit the high performance program, identify more countries, and not just have a general scheme, but a bespoke program for each country as to what its needs are. Not one size fits all, but to identify what the needs of each of these high performance countries and inject whatever they need. Better facilities, more funding, and more coaching, or what type of coaching, and then give the full members a run for their money.
Well, the other point you made earlier was about the fact that all associate countries have run their cricket with aplomb. It's been admirable the way they've done things. Just as an observation from a person who's been involved and in the thick of it, apart from Africa, how do you see, and where do you see the strength of the associates lying, in which particular region of the globe?
Well, I would have traditionally said that Asia had a very phenomenal growth at one stage. Africa was in the backwaters for some time. I think now it's competitive. Europe has Scotland and Holland, which is high performance. Every region is now producing top-level cricket. The associates are not the backwaters of the ICC anymore. You know, I think they are asserting their presence. Afghanistan shows a fairy tale existence that associates can enjoy. Ireland is now a full member as well, and there's no reason to believe that the glass ceiling to be a full member is not achievable by more associates.
And then just going globally again, Canada, the United States, there is a growth in the United States. Canada have been there, and very similar to Kenya. Obviously, their cricket has gone down for a while. But we don't see too much of their involvement at international level, at associate level. What's being done for that region?
For the Americas region? Yes. Well, in the present strategy that has been written up for the ICC, United States is being identified as, for want of a better phrase, a special economic zone. Their standard of cricket is also pretty good, but if the strategy works out to true realization, then I think Canada and United States from the Americas will be teams to be reckoned with in the future. They are high-performance countries that, if the proper bespoke programs are put together, are going to perform well.
Well, it sounds to me like the associates are in very good hands. Thank you very much for your time. I know it's been a short, sharp interview. We'd love to chat a whole lot more to you, but we got to go back to the commentators. Back to Daryl and Hussein.
Thank you very much, Aslam. Lovely interview. It's good to hear from the ICC and what's happening at the higher level. 62 for no loss. Matlanka's batting beautifully, 33 of 27. There was a chance on the deep mid-wicket boundary when Honde was in strike. Still haven't managed to pick up a wicket. Motlanthe pulls this one, and he's now top of the table as far as run scorers are concerned in this tournament.
What stage did Botswana consider pushing on a little bit more? Putting foot to pedal. These two did put on 81 for the first wicket against Mozambique. What do you think, Hussein? Both go, one go. Who's going to anchor?
I think one needs to go. I'd like to see Nohande go, let the skipper bat through. And the reason I say that is because it looks like, for me, Motlanka's more of a manipulator. He can hit balls into angles, and I'd like to think Nohande can have a go and try and see if he can pick the run rate up. 10 overs bowled, 65 for no loss.
It's very important in these matches. You mentioned that it being a knockout, that you're well led by your senior players, and with your captain, it's even better. That's when they are expected to perform and be at their best, leading from the front. This confirmation, Motlanthe now at 128 runs. Riyazat Shah still in the tournament, so is Sesazi. And Uganda, well, they're in the final, and a good few of their batters featuring in that table.
Got him. There was a faint edge. I tried to work this ball behind square, a little delicate cut shot, but just a faint little edge, and I'm afraid that's it for the skipper.
He doesn't look pleased with this decision. He stood for a moment, he's shaking his head. Now, there was bat brushing the ground. Were there two sounds? But there was definitely bat on ground.
I did hear two sounds, definitely. What those sounds were, we don't know, unless he's just disappointed with himself. Motlanthe goes for 34, 65 for 1. Yeah, the bat did hit the ground. That may have been the second sound. Let's have a look at his reaction. Maybe
No.
I think he's disappointed that, because there was obviously the bat hitting the ground and then the ball into the keeper's gloves, and those may have been the two sounds.
I think that was a look of a man saying, I didn't touch that. But anyway, nothing can be done about it. Valentine Mbazo. Pity though, he was the man Botswana were looking to, we spoke about it at length, take this innings forward. And normally tight affairs, semi-finals and finals, everyone's got to be on the same page, tuned in, expect the unexpected. You know, you've got to bring your A game. Mbazo, useful player. Let's see how these two as a partners approach this. Buys, wides as well.
So he hasn't signaled anything else. So if he hasn't signaled buys or wides, that means it's 4 runs, I'm assuming.
Nice way to get off the mark. Missing leg. Yeah, Linda, he's flirting with that 15-degree rule. Has to be mentioned, because if that is the case, we'd rather do something about it sooner than later.
Coming to change, it's going to be Assam Kota and Sixo Chalelwa.
$69 for 1 after 11. Batting first are the Botswana team. They've lost their captain in a rather unfortunate dismissal. Given out caught behind. Well played, 34 for 29. A good consistent opening pair along with Reginald Nihondo. And it is Nihondo who goes for the lusty stroke over the bowler's head. Will get 2 for his efforts. Score progresses to 71 for 1, and the current run rate at 6.36. 127 is the projected score. That's not what Botswana would want against a good team. Good afternoon, Six.
Afternoon, Aslam. Perhaps you're watching for the first time this tournament, and as you switch on, you see Botswana 73 for 1. This is how they've been throughout the tournament. They've surprised a lot of people. Led beautifully by their captain up front. And Ken Nohonde now take responsibility as a settled batter. Straight, fumble. Love to see that again. There was clear connection. It was pitched up full with that was a bump ball. We want to see that again. Straight down the wicket, past wicket and into the gap for a single. Wow. Well. Is that a chance gone begging?
It certainly has. Both Nihondo and Bozo looking to be positive. I think they've realized that they need to take some chances right now.
Careful, careful.
Well, as I said, that it looks like a plan. So this is the chance. Down the track, plays it across the line, hits the bottom part of the bat, and then unable to grab that, and the chance has gone a begging, and he looks rather disappointed.
As he should. Because it's off your own bowling that you want to master. And in particular that area around you as a spinner. That's your area. Catch should have been taken. 12 overs gone, 74 for 1.
Just an instinctive take by the keeper. Removes the bails. But it's been a tidy spell. At one stage they were scoring at a good almost 8 and 9 runs and over. It's been brought back a bit, so at 6.17 it's projected that they'll get to 123. Wickets are in hand, and I'm absolutely certain they'll not be satisfied with anything less than 160. They're up against a very organized and a team that's got a very deep batting lineup in the Tanzanians. So these two have a lot of responsibility on the hand. Now the left arm spinner.
Soft hands. As the keeper goes and retrieves the ball. Been some very interesting bowling actions and fast bowlers.
There have been 1 or 2 bowlers in the championship so far with a slight bent arm, and I'm sure that the match ref and even the umpires will be making notes. Slightly short. He does get a bit of bounce on that, and that's why the batsman was not able to control that, but he's got enough of bat on it for a single.
Oh, you've just taken me back to the years of Johan Botha and his struggles. Aaron Pangiso as well with his struggles. Yeah, Linde on the leg stump and is swept away towards fine leg. Single. And you feel with more television matches, such inquiries will happen.
Correct.
But it first needs approval from the coach, because it is the coach who watches you practice and helps you in your craft, and then it is the coach who picks you in the team.
Yeah, interesting point being raised in my ears by our director, and he's saying that once you're exposed at international level, or once you get picked for international level, the fault should actually lie with the organizing country that the player is representing. So he's come through the system. It does mean that the umpires at club and their provincial or state level take that type of responsibility in their hands, because it can be rather embarrassing for the player and the country involved. 81 for 1, one ball remains. Run rate remains at under 6.5. Let's keep a keen eye on Yalinde. He's picked up a few wickets. So that'll end the over. 13 complete, 81 for 1. And whilst we've noted the intention of the two batsmen, Six, one thing we're quite certain of is they're unable to get back to ball in the style that will get them boundaries. And after all of the rain this morning and the cold weather, it's warmed up appreciably. This is how they've gone so far. Harshit Chauhan, the impressive bowler, just one wicket that has fallen, and Yalinde in operation has picked up the one. And apart from 7.5 from Anil Akil, the right arm off spinner, the rest of them have been very tidy. And that is the reason why they're unable to score at over 6.5. Good to see the officials from different parts of the world and also different parts of Africa all arriving. Call for 2 runs and they'll get it. That is the longest boundary. A good strong throw comes in from Akil. was required from Tanzania as well, given their poor cricket in this over. Well judged catch. Grabs it at eye line, gathers it towards his body and completes a perfect catch.
Pamelo Silas, the new batter. The right-hander. Is this the window of opportunity that Tanzania have been working for in these past 3 overs with their spin options? Pulled it back nicely. Left armour continues. With a fuller delivery. Inzamamol Master Tatayo Nechose Moleki Mukwiti are the batters to follow.
Another partnership of 50 or more for the openers Nihondo and Motlanthe. Motlanthe really judged, caught behind when the bat actually scraped the ground, and umpire raised his finger. There was an appeal from the keeper and the bowler. They were pretty certain. It was close to that bat as well, so there's too much happening with that one dismissal.
Shout and a shout, perhaps a bottom edge.
Well, you know, with this action, he's a genuine two-finger spinner, or finger and thumb spinner. Not much happening. May have been a fine bottom edge to that. Oh, this is firmly struck. And some good teamwork will get the ball in and keep the runs to just 2. They're looking for a third. Should they be taking it? No.
Full. Opens up that front leg to give him access to the ball. Drills it nicely, but a bit of teamwork, as you say. A slow out in the deep.
92 for 3. Run rate still under 6.5.
This has to be 2. This has to be 2. Runs the first one hard, putting pressure on the fielder, and it becomes comfortable 2 in the end.
Very good judgment. Both batsmen committed to that second run, and well done.
It almost becomes less of a power game when 3 fielders are on the ropes, so you have to play it softly with soft hands to tease them and draw them into the circle to come and pick up the ball, and so you run the second one hard.
It's gone over the inner ring, and it's possibly cleared the boundary. There's a magnificent lofted sweep shot for 6, and it brings up the 100 for Tanzania. So Vinu down on his knees and plays it beautifully to end the over. 15 complete, 100 for 3. Another look at that particular stroke. Oh, he was committed to it. Got under this one. Clearly wasn't looking to hit this along the ground for 4. And he got maximum as well. That's a big boundary. Backward of square. Yeah, in fact, by a long way over that boundary. So 100 up on the board. 5 to go in the second semi-final. Who's in the pound seats? Let's hear from Hussein and Daryl.
Thank you, Aslam. 100 for 3 in the 15th over. That's the Manhattan. Haven't had that really big over yet. The 15th over was the biggest. So if they can pick it up from here on in, target 8 to 10 and over, and get to close to 150. Akil will continue. Yes, that's well played. He deliberately got as far across outside of stump as he could so that he could loop it was just scoop it over the short fine leg. Very deliberate. Well played. Spoken a lot about Silas and how busy he's been and how he puts fielders under pressure, running between the wickets too. Yeah, so Vinu has got to up his game here, you feel. He's got to match Silas, or at least show a little more urgency with the running, or else he's going to miss out every time there's a fumble. In any case, you want to be putting pressure on the fielders on the boundary. He's lost the ball there, Zakil, so it's a clear not out. 6.72 is the current run rate. That will take them to 134, and I'm pretty sure they're looking at 150, 160. That's what the skipper, Matlanka, said at the toss. Now we're going upstairs. This call for it now. Did the keeper perhaps feel that he may have overbalanced? Because he was on the back foot. So was Silas. Let's have a look. Oh, he picked his foot up just after the bails were dislodged.
Time of taking off the bails, the foot's down. Once the bail's off, then the foot comes up and then he appeals.
Yes, thank you.
Should be yellow card. The point you made earlier was saying that they need that one big over here. Don't think 150. It's yet to all happen, but I don't think you want to be less than 150 here.
This is going to challenge the man at the deep point with deep extra cover. I'll just be the single.
I think Silas is better playing that way, where he's busy. He's got a strike rate of touching 120 this tournament, which is good going. Top score of 32. That's well hit. Straight to the fielder though. Fumble, and they run that first one hard. There was a chance of a second. That's 16 done. 107 for 3.
And that's where Vinu is. Has just been a little bit on the slow side, and it's not so much about how quick you are. I think it's more the intensity, the urgency of the running between the wickets, the backing up, the awareness, just the hunger to try and convert everyone into two, if at all possible. And I don't think Vin is quite switched on at the moment, so he's got to try and match Silas. Silas is quick. 34 for Karabo, Matlanka, skipper, Reginald Nahonda, 45. And then these are the two at the crease at the moment. Vinu Balakrishnan and Pamelo Silas. Got to be looking at 150 here, surely. With wickets in hand, I got to accelerate and try and score 10 and over. At least 10 and over. Opening bowler Harshid is back into the attack. He's bowled 2, and chances are he may finish up from the Kuraleni end.
Botswana have Chosestel to come in. He's played 7 matches, a top score 49, but has a strike rate of over 200. Maybe he's the man to come and pull off that big over you called for, Hussein. Can't afford to miss out. Just somehow get better on it, because dot balls is everything that the bowl in Tanzania would want right now. Rammed. We'll bring a second.
Spot on. And Chose was the man who hit those massive sixes in Botswana's previous game. So you really need him to come in, you feel, somehow. And that's the thing we were chatting about the other day. Remember that, can you retire a batter? Can a batter retire? Can a coach call him off and go like, listen, off you come? Because surely at this stage, Vinu's the man, unless he starts hitting out and can also has maybe some firepower and can hit a few big ones. But at the moment, it just isn't that urgency from Botswana to try and get to 150. They may well get there, and I don't think it's going to be too tough an ask. But they just need a bit more urgency with the running, with the intent. Silas is switched on. He is all the time. There we go. This is up in the air. Now, they better call. Yes. That was one of those where you just kind of, the edge of your seat, hoping that they don't run into one another. But in the end, all's well that ends well. The catch is taken, and there's no accident. So, Vinu goes. He tries to heave this over mid-wicket and makes no contact. Jumbe takes the catch. He's gone for 15 of 11, 109 for 4.
There's that collision written all over it. It was about there, but well done to the man. It's always his catch. Coming into it, always his catch. Tata. Johanne Chose, the man we called for. The man with the big strike rate. He struck some big blows in Botswana's previous match.
And this has gone up. This has gone high. It's very high. The skipper's under it. Difficult chance. Difficult chance. Mani was always on the ball. But I tell you what, he almost held on to it. He got 2 hands to it and he almost held on to it. He may have injured himself as well. While we were watching the fielder, Chose had a full go at this. This has gone sky high. Have a look at this. He's under it, eye on the ball. Oh. Those are never easy, especially when you need to start running backwards. That's a tough one, because then it's coming over your head. Still coming slightly over his left shoulder. Difficult chance. Abik Patwa is the skipper. And that was him under the ball. He's injured himself slightly. I'm not sure what the injury was, whether it was the foot. As he landed, he may have twisted his ankle. And for Tanzania's sake, I hope it's not a bad injury, because he's one of the key batters. He opens the batting, plays a big role. Now, while we were keeping an eye on the fielder, this also happened. Now they're watching the ball. Have a look at this. Collision. Well, at least nobody's injured there. Silas. Now they're sprinting. Yes, easy two in the end. 17 overs bowled, 113 for 4. Projected scores at the current run rate 132. They surely have to be aiming for about 143 to 150. 150 should be what they're targeting, and that's what the skipper said at the toss. So as long as they're all on the same page and they've all been communicated to, they'd be looking at that 150 mark. 3 overs remaining.
Ask from there. West side.
I think these are the players from Ghana, I think. I recognize a few of them. Ghanaians. It's good to see them here. Look at the running. Watch the sprinting. He's coming back for two. Silas. Beautiful. Brilliant. This is exactly what you need in the middle overs. This is going to serve them well, Botswana. They can really put pressure on the fielders here. They can get to 150 plus. That becomes a huge psychological advantage. Wide.
Talking about Tanzania's batting, they have chased down 159, and that was against Kenya in this tournament. And they did that in 19 overs.
Oh, he's given him out. What was that for? I'm assuming it's scored behind because standing umpire at the bowler's end has given that out. Because there was an appeal from the keeper for a stumping as well. Sure says confused. He doesn't know what he's out for or what the reason is. And he's walking despondently back. Let's have a look. Now he obviously thinks he nicked it. There's no other reason. Certainly spun a long way.
He's going to take a while to get off the field. You might have to find someone to drag him off. Not a happy man. Botswana 116 for 5. Chose out for 2.
That's a big wicket, I tell you, because he was in the mood. The way he batted in their previous game, he's a powerful hitter of the ball. In 1 over, if I recall, he hit 4 sixes of the first 4 deliveries of the over consecutively. And let's have a look at this. Is there an edge? If it is, it has to be an inside edge. And an inside edge, I think, would have deflected a little more. And that would have made it a very difficult catch. Nonetheless, they all appealed. Keeper appealed, so did the bowler. And the umpire was convinced. Suppose that's all that matters. Zainab Basi is the new batter. Now, work to do here for Botswana, you feel. They don't want to let it slip right at the end here. Done well so far. And they still do need that 1 or 2 big overs, especially if this turns out to be a quiet one. So had to go with this. Here's Abasi, and it's going to go for 4. It's gone between the two fielders on the boundary, long on his back, deep mid wicket. Bowler's not too amused. He's floating it up is Akil Anil, and that's better. It's pushed flatter, but it's hit firmly down the ground, back over his head. It's going to be another boundary. So this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Botswana. Oh, this is gone. This is gone long. It's gone big. It's into the stands. Massive hit from Zainab Bassi.
The big over has come to remain 130 for 5 now. That 150 is possible if this man keeps swinging. Exactly what Botswana needed right now. Too loose, too wide, too slow. And this was punished and had to be. That's just almost giving runs to the batter. Yeah, have a go, have a hit.
It always confuses me when you get to the stage of the innings where you know batters are looking to hit boundaries and you still toss it up. It always confuses me. What are bowlers trying to do? They're trying to buy a wicket at the risk of disappearing. Not sure that's too clever. They can get to 152 if they scored 11 and over, which is very possible. Harshid.
No.
Is the Manhattan, the final 118 or the 18th over. They did get a wicket, but 3 boundaries, 2 fours. $17 runs in that over. Yeah, this is sliced away, and it will beat the field at third man. Another boundary, so the boundaries are coming thick and fast. It's Silas. He's got this on the full toss. It's a low full toss, but I think Silas did play quite well. You got to give him a lot of credit here. The thing about bowling those wide Yorkers, and I think that's what Rashid's trying. Get it slightly wrong, can disappear. Catchable height, but it just beats the man in the field, in the ring. It's going to be a couple. That's the skipper there. He moved quite slowly there. He's not normally the type to just let that ball go past without an effort. I thought. Have a look at this. Here we go. Here's Abik. He's the captain. Have a look at this. Oh no. Perhaps he thought he was a bit too far. Sliced away. They're pushing for 2. Will he come back? Ooh, now the bat fell out of his hand. Should they go upstairs for this? Unless he was safe in with his feet.
It looked as if he was. They found that he was way beyond the wickets, but it's always worthwhile when the bat gets dropped just to take a moment to consider what has happened.
That's gone high. That's gone high. It hung in the air for a long time. There were 3 men charging in towards the ball. And he'll get a couple. 19 overs bowled, 140 for 5. Oh, he's just in. Looked like the bowler missed the stumps initially and then had to retake. So projected score now 147 at the current run rate. Matlanka skipper 34 and a Honda 45, and then 15 for Vinu. 140 for 5.
Wellington, right arm over.
Lovely crowdy, and there's few people who have come in to watch the cricket. Some from the other teams.
Good thing for Botswana, Bassi is on strike. And that's why, has it though, found the boundary. He should come back for the second. He's the man to take on Ali with a long handle. That psychological 150. It's on, and Botswana have got to get past it.
It's a good slower ball. Lovely slower delivery. And that's Peter Bassi. He was through with the stroke before the ball came, and this is brilliant bowling. Slower ball is so valuable. Yorkers, slower deliveries at the death are priceless. Have a look at this. Back of the hand as well. Very well executed. He was right through with the stroke.
Best slow ball of them all, and he bowls it very well, Kimoti. From match one, he showed us that skill. Good arm speed, that's the biggest part of it all. Right through with the stroke, and that's what you're hoping to get against any batter. So Bassi gone for 16, very entertaining. It's won a 142 for 6. Lovely to see him with that skill, Kimoti. Any bowler in the world would love to be able to do that consistently. It's the toughest one to bowl because it's difficult to land. And to get your arm speed right, you've got to know when to deliver it, at what time. So Mul, master. Okay, can he get Botswana here past that 150?
Right arm over, 4 left.
Yeah, Silas is through. He's not going to miss out on that opportunity of the thigh pad. Final over. It was a beautiful slower ball. It's not easy as a batter when you're already through with the shot, or the bat's already on its way down, and then you realize you've got to reload again. Never easy. Many batters don't pick it up until it's too late. He's been good. It's a wonderful skill to develop for any young fast bowler. This is up in the air, and nobody's going to get there because it's landed in the middle of nowhere. Looking for 3, Silas.
He's best on strike, Silas. He's not the biggest of men. Kimoti would do well to bowl another slow ball, actually finish his over with slow balls. Also means you don't have that pace to get it over the boundary. Does it again. Does it again. He's got one of the best slow ballers going around in world cricket. Stick my neck out and say that he's got one of the best going around. And watch if it comes up seam up. It does. Bit of a wobbly seam, but when it does and it's still, it can then, on top of the lack of pace, swing.
Beautiful. Oh, now, where's the bat down? We've gone upstairs.
Last ball, but it will go down as a wicket, I'm sure. Didn't look as if the batsman had made his ground.
was again through with the shot before the ball came. Very well bowled. Oh, and I think that may be out. That may well be out. It's not going to make a difference to the scorecard, I'm afraid, because they weren't attempting a run. He was trying to simply get back into his crease, but that's going to clearly be out. So they finished. Do Botswana on 145 for 7 now. In the 20 overs. Over. And they batted quite beautifully. And that was the skipper. Eventually he was dismissed. He was the first to go. When he attempted that little cut shot, it was a faint edge, which we're still not sure whether it was. There was a couple of opportunities that went down, and this one was taken. Tanzania will hope that they don't live to regret those drop catches, because I think they would have easily cost them a few runs. So far in the tournament they've been good, but in this match they have missed a few opportunities. And they kept going. Vinu tried his best at the end, or towards the end, and top edge that one. This was a very, very high chance, which was dropped by the skipper. He tried to run backwards. Very difficult chance, but he did get two hands to it and just struggled to hold on to it. Shaw said the danger man, the big hitter. He was dismissed by the standing umpire, and he wasn't sure whether he'd nicked it or not. In fact, he thought he didn't. And then Apasi came in with a flourish. He hit 2 fours and a massive 6. That's the 6 into the stands. He's deposited that one. And then Ali Impeka in the final over bowls a few beautiful slower deliveries, which the batters have completely misread and swung past. And they finish on 145 for 7 in the 20 overs. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. The target is 147. Please join us.
Good afternoon again from Benoni. We're all set for semi-final 2, the second innings of the second semi-final. Tanzania up against Botswana. Who will take up Uganda tomorrow? It's going to be a close call. Botswana have put on a score of 146 for 7. And for 147 is the target for Tanzania. Now, at the toss, Abik Patwa did say, when he asked Botswana to bet, that whatever score it is, he favors his team to chase this one down. But it's all about pressure in semi-finals. We saw Uganda almost come short in that earlier match against Kenya. And the captain is going to lead from the front. He's the opening batsman. Crunched his ankle in the field a short while ago. But he's all up and ready to lead his team into the first cup final staged by Africa Cricket Association. Botswana starting with spin. And here in the commentary box, alongside me, Daryl Cullinan.
Yes, Muke. Top ball, Mula. Yes, Mula. Yes, Mula.
Good afternoon, Aslam. Muketsi, the man, not the tallest. He's even lower when he delivers the ball. Looks to skid it into the right-hander. And occasionally does toss it up. So for Tanzania, they're off the mark. Aslam, you did mention that on form you feel Tanzania are the fancied team.
Come on. That's leg. That's center. Let's go more, let's go more.
Avik with Ivan. Ivan about to face his first delivery.
No run. Yes,
Interesting position that man there is at a wide gully for that little dab top edge. There is a bit of bounce. Might just prove to be a good move. The reason you feel they're on form, they must be the fancied side, Tanzania?
Simply because we know so little about these teams. So as we've watched their progress, the progress of all the teams in this tournament, Ivan gets off the mark, or has just come off the pair, I'm not too sure. We'll keep an eye on the umpire. So both batsmen off the mark. And so when it comes to predictions, this is how I feel. This is the road to Tanzania's semi-final. And look at the last column there. 1 by 10, 1 by 4 wickets, then by 44 runs. An indication of the form team. And if they do go through, then they'll join Uganda in the final, and both teams will have won all of their matches in the round-robin stages. So on form, I'd reckon them, but I wouldn't mind a surprise in the close game here. Definitely not. Kenya almost upset the morning's proceedings when they stretched Uganda all the way until that flurry in the penultimate over. Oh, this is a firm hit, but there's a fielder trying to get to it. It is in fact too firm and beautifully timed and placed, and that'll be a boundary to Abik Patwa. Or is that Ivan that's actually hit that? Well, he's hit that beautifully. They didn't have the best of starts in that match against Malawi. They were 2 down for 12, 3 for 31. Both these openers had failed. But today is the day when it counts. Interesting entry into this tournament. We wondered in the beginning, after watching their first match, why when they're part of the final 8 in this competition. Of course, they didn't qualify because it's decided on a regional basis, and the qualifiers were lopsided because of the pandemic. And we've seen teams like Cameroon and others that have come through, Mozambique the other. And they've come in through the back door. And I have a lovely other story to tell you, Daryl. When they won their first match and their second, I said to them that in the European Championships many years ago in the 80s, Denmark had been suddenly called up to the European Cup finals because one other team were eliminated or banned by UEFA. They went on to win the championship. So I said to the guys, go and tell this to the rest of your crew upstairs. And here we go. They're in the semi-finals.
That's the start. He operates in that area. He does have a wide slip in place. He could find himself picking up a wicket or two, and that did lead the right-hander. bustles in, not the tallest of men. Has the ability to hit the seam. It's a good presentation of the seam.
It's a good follow-up ball because this time he's closer to the batsman, hoping that maybe if he stays in the stance that he was, the ball, the previous delivery, possibility of getting the edge. There is a fielder in position at slip.
Quick whip around the commentary box revealed that everyone's back in Tanzania. I'm going to go Botswana.
Well, I was about to ask you, since you've asked me, what are you, which way are you going? Yeah, and well, you've been saying it from the beginning of the tournament, haven't you? That, listen, these are our neighbours, so I'm going to root for them, and why not? A score of 146 for 7 is something to bowl at. At one stage, it didn't look like they were going to get there. Unlike the Kenyans, they weren't able to put up a good score in their first innings. Just 18 overs, they scored 105 for 8.
Very good lines, offering the batsman no width. And of course, Botswana is one of the most unbelievably beautiful parts of Africa. Toshapan, the swamps, Okavango swamps. You been there?
No, I haven't, but there has to be one on the bucket list. There's absolutely no doubt. A bank manager friend once said that you cannot say you're African born if you haven't been to the Okavango swamps. That's a good firm hit by the skipper. It's going to run away for 4. And this is what most of the bowlers fear. Anything short or up to the bat with Abik Patwa, he'll punish you. And just given that much, more than an inch, and he's punished the bowler. Too wide, too full. Good firm hit, and that's the best place to hit it. There's no fielders in the deep. The two fielders are on the offside at third man and deep extra cover. Wicketkeeper making his way. Well, I thought he was going to come and chat with the skipper or even the bowler. But it's a huge country with so much of untouched land. That's amazing in itself. 3 main centers, and I think the distances are like 900 kilometers. Another short delivery and pulled across the line. This time the fielder will get there to keep it in play, and they'll finish 2 runs. That'll also complete the over. 15 without loss after 2.
Jose's first over, those 4 first balls were good. And then to full and a bit too short. Moketsi bowled the first, that's him in picture. He is approaching the umpire, so he will bowl his second. 15 off 2, that's not ideal for Botswana. But good cricket shot by Abik. Straight down the ground, pulled one.
Having chatted, Hussein and I have had a number of chats with him off air in the corridors of the hotel and in the reception areas, and fantastic head on his shoulders. You could tell by the way he conducts his interviews at the toss and also after match. Oh, that's a good firm hit by Ivan. Full toss, and you've got to make the best of it, especially in this format. There's no time to get yourself set and get your eye in. And Moketsi pays the price. Well, this is the second full toss, and he perhaps dishes them up a little too often. Daryl?
If you're going to give him the new ball, he's got to have control with it. All spinners will tell you that new ball, you can't really get your fingers around it. You can't really grip it. So you've got to be accustomed to bowling with the new ball.
Get it down.
Call is for 2. And that just sets the over, that boundary first ball. And it's just a cruise from there. At this stage, you turn that into 6-7, and it's been a great over.
Come on, James. That boys. I
Also like the fact that Ivan called for that second. In other words, telling his skipper, come back, there's room for 2. Well done. Oh, he strikes him with a slower ball, and it looks like this batsman was out of his crease. They're appealing for the run out, so there are 2 appeals that have gone up. The one has been turned down. We'll watch the square leg umpire to see what the side-on view or vision will give us. But they look absolutely confident that they've got Ivan. Good cricket delivery. May have come off the inside edge. Yes, foot up in the air, run out.
That's outstanding work by the keeper. That was chaotic because the first appeal, as we saw, was for the LBW. It seemed that Ivan, he wasn't aware of where the ball was, but the keeper was. First a success here for Botswana.
Well, the keeper showed good awareness. Unfortunately, the batsman didn't. He was looking up at his skipper, wondering if it'd be okay to take 1 run. But he did see where the ball was, Daryl, and this is just poor cricket in the end. Good on the keeper. That's the appeal for the LBW, but that didn't matter. So out for 13 of 6, Tanzania 21 for 1.
I'm thinking 1 year. Another time across.
Spot on there, Aslan, because he did in fact see where the ball was. How he thought there was a run, I think only he could explain to us why he thought so. Good work by that man. Very good awareness. Bounced on it. And he's got his team a wicket. His effort here has got his team a wicket.
He could have just stood and watched what the umpire was going to decide on the LB appeal. But that was the right thing to do. There's a lesson for everyone in there. Stay aware, stay alert. And that summons in the left-handed batsman. Patwa has come in to join his skipper. Salim Jumbe is the new batsman. He's the left-hander. So 6 fielders in the inner ring. Make it 7 with the slip fielder.
This is much better for Maketsi going across the left-hander. Okay, now let's see where he thinks for a moment. He knows where the ball is. He was suggesting, is there a run, asking his partner at the other end. Big hit, straight hit, 4. As easy as that. Cross him to full though. Spoke of wow, it's probably not a bad idea, the best option for him, but when it's full, he's actually made that, not the worst of balls, he's made that into a ball to hit by a good foot placement of the front foot, opens it up. And what was that? That looked like something out the back of the hand. Is it necessary right now for Maketsi to be trying to do all of this?
Yet another full toss, and that's prompted me to have a look at his action. It is the end of the 3rd over, 26 for 1. Orthodox left arm until he gets to the crease, and then it's a bit of a round arm action. And when you do have that, it's never easy to find the right lengths. And in his case, he's over pitching, bowling too many full tosses, 3 in that over, and they've got the run out.
He's tried the other one there. Back of the hand. Got a question whether that's the thinking that he should be adopting right now. I just don't need to be too greedy in terms of wanting to get a wicket here, Botswana, or trying to make the running. Just settle down, try and build a bit of pressure.
Confirmation, it says stumping, but the ball was already had already hit the batsman's body, so that could be a run out, but nevertheless it confirms that he's back in the hut. 13 off 6, 26 for 1 after 3. And you're absolutely right. Try and get the consistency going, let the batsman come at you, and once the game demands a slower ball, the finger ball, the carom ball, all of those little skills that you do have or may have, that's when you look to introduce it. It's a good single, no other fielder there. The bowler having to run through. Both batsmen sense that it's the bowler after it, and the single was on. Leg by. Bobbles off that front pad. Well judged run. As long as you know that the fielder has his back to you, still getting to the ball, there's always a chance for a single. Knowing that he's quite prolific hitting straight, they know quite a bit about Abik Patwa's game. They've now posted a long off. The other fielder, sweeper, is sweeping on the offside.
Wait! You bowling, my boy.
Not convinced there's no third man or a fine leg on the boundary. Like to think at least one should be back.
Exactly. On slower pitches, it doesn't matter if you start with without fine leg and third man. On a quick pitch, an edge runs away, it's 4 runs, and then the bowler is aggrieved. And I'm sure these type of discussions are had in the planning stages. And then it's also something that you would just discuss in general over a cup of coffee or dinner, or when you're just lounging about. And those things are so important, because the more you talk and read the game, the more you adapt it out on the field. The other thing, Daryl, is that you need to, when it comes to net sessions, you've got to almost think that you're in a match situation. And I always say that hour or two should not be wasted. So if you're bowling to a good batsman, you know who your mate is batting there, you know what his strengths are. When you're bowling at him, you try and curtail the run scoring. It's not about wickets in the nets.
You'll play how you practice.
Thank you. Thanks for simplifying it. And that's not how he would have practiced. But he's desperate for at least a minimum of 1 boundary in the over. And that's why he's counting the deliveries and saying, whatever happens, number 3 is on for me. That's his game plan. It comes off, sometimes it doesn't. That's why it's so important for the bowler to just keep near the stumps, because you're forcing the batsman to make a mistake. Now they have a long off and long on, deep extra cover. Sweeper comes into the inner ring. 5 fielders saving one on the offside. Good to see also with Chose that he does want to give more than 1 away on that occasion, so showing good attitude. 28 for 1 after 4. Let's see how it went for Botswana when they had betted earlier. 29 without loss. They slowed down somewhat and then they picked it up towards the middle part of their innings. Tanzania just need to, now that they know the target, they can pace their innings, and that's the key. Rate achieved 7, rate required 7.4. They started at a requirement of 7.3, so they're there and thereabouts.
Chasing in a round robin and chasing in a must-win match, it's a different feeling.
Absolutely. Single taken. It's a good throw. That's just to the left of the wicketkeeper and the stumps. It was well to stay down. This keeper was very impressive. I remember enjoying the way he stumped some of the batsmen in that previous match. He looks so authoritative as a keeper. Watch this, he gets down quickly, judges it nicely, gloves in position, but run well taken. I'll always be biased for good wicket keepers, Gerald. I did a bit of wicket keeping in my time.
Stopper or a keeper?
Hussein bowled for a long time, ask him.
Well, I hope he was standing up to Hussein. Oh, that's a misfield. That's not what Botswana need. Abassi the man. It looks like Jumbe has been sent in to take on the bowlers. Hasn't had much success, but in his T20 career, he has a strike rate of 130. The way that he's played that first shot, particularly in here, it looks like this is what they've asked him to do.
Keith just showing me that he's got the second, well, he shares the highest number of stumpings along with Karim from Kenya.
And I'll tell you why, because it's my man Dhruv, my Surya, the leg spinner. That's why I'm still back in Botswana here, Aslam. Wait till he gets going.
Isn't it good that there's a player out there at this level where he has, let's call it the Shane Warne effect, that as long as you have that kind of a player in your lineup, you have to favor them. Bad ball, nicely put away by the left-hander.
I think he's bowled one too many.
Keep going, boys.
He's just, again, you spoke about it earlier, that's his third full toss.
Captain must be brave enough. You generally select 5 with 1 extra bowler, maybe even 2. This is firmly hit. There's a fielder under this one, but it's cleared him by a long way. Glorious stroke. He challenged that fielder and he's beaten him by a few meters. 43 for 1 after 5. Stay with us. This is the second semi-final. Who of these two teams are going to join Uganda to take you through the next 5 overs? Hussein with 6. And don't say anything about the wicket keeping, Hussein.
Thank you, Aslam. Daryl Cullinan. It's party time in Benoni. It's party time. I say it's party time. Runs are on offer. Wickets are on offer. A final spot is on offer. A comparison after 5 overs. Yeah, they're slightly ahead in terms of runs, but they've picked up, or they've lost the 1 wicket, Tanzania. Alongside me for the next while, Hussein Manak. Quick single, and is taken. Need I ask who you're favouring this afternoon, Hus?
I don't have a favourite, but if you ask me just based on the performances so far, I think Tanzania look like a side that could chase this down. Although, I must say Botswana have been wonderful. They've shown a lot of fight. They lost their first game, remember. It was the first game of the tournament. And they've really showed a lot of fight, guts. And they've got a few match winners in their side.
Walks towards the ball and just flicks it off his hips for a single. Yeah, you talk about that first game. They lost against Uganda. The second game against Ghana, just 11-run win. Mozambique, more convincing. Will they be convincing this afternoon?
This is the big one. It's the knockout stage. Semi-final. How badly do they want it? I saw the first game this morning, first semi-final. Go right down to the wire.
Captain Karabo. He's done his bit with bat. Now he's asking his bowlers to just follow suit.
Required run rate is 7 to the over, and I don't think Tanzania need to panic. I've got Salim Jumbe out there, and he looks like he's been sent in to play a few shots. He's doing that. He's taking the pressure off his skipper. Skipper will want to try and bat through this innings, although he's quite aggressive himself, and the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, passionate man, the captain, Tanzanian captain. Talks about him and a group of 4 or 5 players in this Tanzanian side that are pioneers of cricket in Tanzania, that they've had to stick around and encourage others.
Certainly looks like they've got a good setup there, don't they? It'll be a massive achievement, won't it, in a story if they manage to win this tournament after having been a replacement come in at the last minute. This is cut away. There's a man back there.
And it's good for these associate nations to have these marquee players, these standout players, because what it does, it influences those who are lurking below in the club level, school level, perhaps watching now and seeing the likes of Abik and Salim wanting to be there for the next tournament. Final ball of the power play. Full, plenty of pace behind it, and thought about a single, turned down. Dot to end the over, dot to end the power play, 46 for 1.
Dhruv Maisuriya, who's the leg spinner that Daryl spoke about, he's still the highest wicket taker in this tournament. He's leading by 1 wicket, and he still has to bowl. Now, I just wonder if the skipper's holding him back until the left-hander Jumbe is out, and then brings him into the attack when there's 2 right-handers batting. Not sure what the thinking is. Or perhaps maybe wait till just after the power play. Well, the power play is done. What's going to happen? It's going to be an interesting run chase, you feel? 7.2 to the over. That's the required run rate.
Spin continues on the far end. Asking for protection on the leg side. Cow corner, deep square leg. And it's a change of bowling as Chos is brought back into the attack. No hand there, rather.
Yeah, good running.
On the back foot.
Come on, Pims, man.
The bowler not happy. Bowler not happy. Once more hustling from his fielders. This is where the hustling starts. This is where the grafting starts. 98 of 82 deliveries. Going for the big one. It is full in the arc, but past the bat. Yeah, Salim will continue to play like this. You can see it from here that he's been sent out there to play like this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and this time around it's into the gap on the offside. And they pick up 2. That's 50 on the board for Tanzania.
Top stuff, Red, Joe. Top stuff, Red. Come, boys. Come, Red, come, Red.
It's the intent, clear intent.
That ball. Easy.
Mind games from Nahon there.
Let's go, boys.
A pitch. Oh, it's an opportunity that's just gone a begging, and it's going to run away for a boundary just to rub salt into the wound. That was a half a chance. You feel it was a tough one. Did he get hands to it? Let's have a look.
Yeah, that was with on offer. Clears the front foot and goes for it all. Outside edge and an effort and a half.
Should have been taken, I reckon. Not an easy chance, but he got two hands to it. Should have been taken. Spinning away from him, not easy, particularly with that thick outside edge. And it's always spinning backwards. And Salim's dangerous at the moment because he's scoring quickly.
Drilled again down the ground. We'll be happy with just picking the single. In the 7th over. On 56 for 1.
Fire through, fire!
Unforgettable Tanzania, unforgettable Africa. Such are the images and pictures, lovely landscapes. The best of sunsets, king of the jungle, elephants, the big five, everything in Africa. And if you've got an opportunity, come visit. The home of the Maasai. We do have a cricket team, the Maasai Cricket Warriors. Lovely. Now then, here's the main man.
Zay, go.
Dhruv Kumar Maisuria. I know you've been waiting for this, Hussein.
Yes, I have, because now the real game begins, because how well they play him will determine where this game is probably going to end up.
Do you think they're there as a side, Tanzania, and any other side that has come up against this gentleman here? That perhaps we need to be slightly more watchful with him and see how we can maneuver his 4 overs, what we can get out of his 4 overs, and look to attack the others, or attack everything that's in front of you.
I think there is a place for just being watchful against him, but at the same time, whenever he does bowl the loose ball, and invariably wrist spinners will drag one down or bowl it a touch too full, they got to pounce on it, jump on it and hit him. And you've got to go after him when he bowls you that loose ball, but be watchful with his good deliveries, perhaps see him off. No need to take risks against him. I think they need to be just slightly cautious with him. They can always score off the rest without any disrespect, but he's your wicket taker. That's why he's the highest wicket taker at the moment.
Full. Drill down the ground for a single.
Let's stop those ones, guys.
Yeah, I ask because as a side, if you fall short by 5 or 6 runs, 7 runs in a semi-final, you then ask yourself where we could have scored those runs. Having been more watchful with this bowler. And I do feel Abik could try and put him under pressure. It's in the air. Salim, it's long, it doesn't have the feet, and the plan has worked. The plan has worked for Botswana. As we were talking about attacking this specific bowler, this potent bowler, he picks up a wicket.
That's his 10th wicket, Dhruv Maisuria. And well, could this be the turning point? He's picked the wicket up. It's a good catch on the boundary. That is a good catch. He kept his eye on the ball. Rope wasn't too far behind him. Wonderful awareness. Salim Jumbe was looking dangerous. He goes for 28 of 18. Tanzania 58 for 2.
Yeah, he understood his assignment, he understood his job, and perhaps the instruction from the captain and the coach. And so anything pitched up, down on one knee, looking for the big shot. An excellent shot, or rather catch from Master. Jitin Singh, the man in. 58 for 2 now, Tanzania. 89 of 73. Still gettable, still doable. Just the one delivery remaining in this over.
Muda, stump.
Lovely, lovely cricket. It's a dot in the over, 8 gone, 58 for 2. What an excellent over. Professional about his business, about what he does. There seems to be a lot of thought process in his game. Dhruv, Kasim Nasoro, Akila Neil, Ali Mpeka. That's the middle order that really troubled Kenya.
Chap.
The Honda continues. Spin at both ends now. I have to bowl that one again. Man has come from the third man or short third area. Because there is no fine leg, he's standing in about that square leg area. That's 4 wides. 4 runs, my mistake. 4 runs.
Looks like it may have come off the glove. Now there's no feeler in that area, so that wasn't a great delivery. He's hit it straight to the feeler and run. You should never be allowing these type of runs. Botswana not in the circle, and then the overthrow. Nobody backing up either. Very sloppy. Giving away 2 runs there, you feel. Was that the skipper? No, he won't be too happy with himself there, I'm afraid. When you're in the circle, you've got to be very tight, especially if you've got a man behind you.
And you're still required to walk in with the ball even though you are inside the circle. So perhaps had he attacked the ball, he could have put the batter under a bit of pressure.
You just need to judge how far you need to be based on the quickness of the outfield. You want to be at a place where it becomes risky for the batter to take a run straight to you. Should never be an easy single like that. I think he was a touch too deep, and that makes it difficult because then they already through with the run, and then you're trying to recover.
Wide. Keeper's the call. That's it. That's it there.
That's a brilliant feeling. I'll tell you, in these situations, our Silas, he's brilliant. We've seen how he's a pocket rocket. See how quick he's been while batting, running between the wickets.
Yeah, there's a tactic from Nohende here. He's brought in a slip, a deep slip, and he's opted to bowl wide outside of stump. This time around, straighter, and he's delicately tucked towards the leg side by Jitin Singh for 2.
That's a leg bite. It's come off the thigh pad or the pad. Now Honda wants to be careful here, because if he's bowling to this field and he's got 5 on the offside, then you probably want to be making sure he doesn't bowl too straight.
Yeah.
Rather get hit on the offside because that's where you got most of your feelers, or else his other option is to take the slip out, put him at the short fine leg, and then he can bowl straighter. 9 overs bowled, 69 for 2.
That's the captain of the Botswana side, Karabo Motlanka. A lot of thought processes in his head will be happening at the moment. His bowling options. Dhruv to get his second over. He's already picked up the one in his opening over. That of Salim Jumbe was looking very lively.
It's okay, it's okay.
So Jitin has a role to play here. He needs to make sure he doesn't suck up any dot balls or use up too many, because he cannot put pressure on his skipper. He's got to keep it ticking.
No.
The reason why I asked early on if they should attack Dhruv or not, if you attack him early on, does he not then pull his length back and you slightly put him under pressure? Because he's just found an area, he's just putting it there and waiting for you guys to make mistakes. Mistake from the captain.
Another one. Another bit of sloppy feeling. So, to come back to your question, I think, you know, with batting, you got to be smart. The smart batters who box clever, they tend to score runs consistently, and they win more matches for their team. Now, in an attack, any bowling side will have 5, possibly 6, and maybe even 7 bowlers. You're going to have your most dangerous bowler, your best bowler in the team, then your second best, then your third best. You may have 3 good bowlers, then your 4th one will be okay, then your 5th one. Not often you will find 5 high-class bowlers who you can't score off. So your 4th and 5th bowlers, and not necessarily in that order, but I'm saying you're going to have out of the 5, 1 or 2 bowlers who you can score quicker off, and you maybe even can get those couple of big overs off. Then you may even get a 6th bowler.
Off the back foot, points waiting, so it's a dot.
And if you box clever, you can still respect the dangerous bowler, the guy who's picking up the wickets. 10 overs bowled, 71 for 2. You can still respect the good bowler, maybe just wait for his loose balls, and then you can capitalize off the other bowlers. That's how I think the smart batters do it. But that doesn't mean, so this is Dhruv Surya. He's 3 wickets against Mozambique. You can see Mozambique was struggling. They weren't one of the better teams in this tournament, with the greatest of respect, but nonetheless you can see some quality bowling. He's a high-class bowler, wicket taker, and that's why he's the highest wicket taker now in the tournament. Going to make way for Aslam Kota and Daryl Cullinan.
Thank you, Hussain. Dhruv has bowled 2 overs, 1 for 4. So apart from taking wickets, he's kept things very, very quiet. And it's beginning to look like a crucial time that he's been brought into the attack. Nihonde needs to support it. Quicker delivery. They persist with the slip fielder. Non-rate. Scoring at 7, they need to score at 7.8, so they haven't allowed it to drift too far. This is much too short from Nihonde. So Daryl's just joined me in. We've been waxing lyrical about Surya Dhruv Kumar. He's just picked up another wicket. Seems to make a good habit of it. One appeal only from the bowler, and down on the sweep was the captain Abik Patwa, and this is an important break. He looks rather disappointed, does the Tanzanian captain, but he's going to have to make his way off. Tero.
I think it's come off the pad first. The question there was it hitting the stumps? Patwa gone for 25, 73 for 3. Let's see where the keeper is. Well, that won't tell us now, but you can see he's already moving down the leg side. That's got a long way to travel. It's got a fair amount to travel. There was a little bit of turn, not much. Now this is the giveaway. Keeper's on his way.
One thing clearly, it has hit his pad, so there's no question of maybe looking to play the sweep shot with the bat well in front of him. There's no edge there. And the only appeal came from Nehonde. The wicketkeeper was obviously in position to field the ball, and as you say, he did move down the leg side. Sometimes that's a telltale sign to the umpire as well. Maybe a good question to ask, that when you do see keepers go like that, does it matter when you make the decision, or you worry about what you saw in front of you?
Rajivan. I think all umpires will tell you that is something that they do consider. The new batsman, so what will the captain want in terms of his field? Because I don't think he's asked his bowler here to bowl the right line and length. They've been operating at least a foot outside of stump. I think it's got to be stump to stump. I think they'll persist with that line. This occasion is too wide though, because he has a slip.
It's a lovely way to get off the mark, but he seems to be struggling with some kind of an injury, the batsman who's just come in, Amal Rajivan, and yet he was happy to turn for the second. Keep an eye on him. There we go, hobbling along.
He got 70 in the previous match against Malawi.
So he's been sent in to up the run rate.
Come, Rich.
And that came with 51 deliveries. 11 done, 75 for 3.
So how much do they need to up the pace? Botswana was 69 for 1. This is when it went a little ragged for them. Tanzania have lost 3 wickets, although they have 75. And a quick look at the run rate. They're scoring at 6.8. They need to score at 8. So still within touching distance. 1 or 2 good overs from the bat will be important for them. Another wicket or 2 here, and Dhruv Kumar in operation. You almost get the feeling that something's going to happen with this young leg spinner in action.
Let's go, boys.
Amal has just come in, is on strike. Clearly he's been sent to up the run rate.
Yeah.
Beautifully bowled.
Just during that innings where he went down then with a hamstring strain, so they've taken the risk of him playing today, no doubt taped up, and hope that he can do something. They better hope that it doesn't cost them runs. No, I think the back foot was down there, but what a delivery. It's got everything on it.
Yeah.
Drift,
Yeah, no, it's not.
turn, bounce.
Well, he was committed down the pitch, but his back foot and toe, well, it looked rooted for a moment, but he's back down just in time. Very impressive keeper. He must love standing to good quality spin bowlers, in fact. Just waiting for instruction, and confirms that the foot was in. But Dhruv getting that, it's because of that whipping action. He brings that right shoulder through so quickly, but the ball leaves at the right pace out of his hand, and that's why he gets the drift, and then he complements it with some good turn. What a fine wrist spinner he is. My word, this is a big risk.
It's very straightforward. The instruction here should be we throw at his end every time.
Not the best throw. He's dropped his bet on his follow-through. Well, apart from being strapped up, I wonder if he's been given some painkillers and perhaps even an injection or two.
Yeah, I've been through this. It's a very, very uncomfortable feeling when you're battling with a hamstring and you know you need to be moving.
Well, they've made this decision to get him in there, and he needs to make it count. And Dhruv is not going to make it any easier. His first 2 overs went for 2 each, including a wicket. He doesn't want the run because he can't run. End of the over. Another over with just 2 runs from Dhruv, 77 for 3, and that's after 12. So this is one of the earlier games where in looking to make the catch, we suspect that this is where he hurt himself. It seems as though it is a hamstring. And then physio tried earlier to come on and help him, and then oh, well fielded. So Nehonde will look to complete his overs. He went for 20 runs in the first 2. His third was good. He picked up the wicket, that of Abik Patwa, the captain. And now here he does chance his arm, gets it over the inner ring. And he's actually managed to complete the second run. You've got to admire his bravery. To actually volunteer to go out there and bat. He must love betting more than he does anything else.
And he's also a good player. Bowler's end. Get it to the bowler's end. Good thinking, but he was going to be in. They've got to put him under pressure. They've got to look to get it to his end. If he's not hitting boundaries, well then he's not going to be taking the quick singles, so maybe it's a good idea to keep him in.
And that tends to put the other batsmen under so much of pressure. So then there's 2 batsmen with pressure when it's so unnecessary. You don't need the pressure. Somebody has to be covering the bowler's end, and there's a fielder who's running, so that's good thinking.
And there was a run given away there because that was 2.
Correct.
So I think Botswana, if he's not hitting boundaries, keep him in.
Keep him in there.
He might have the last laugh though. Look at that. That run rate required is now starting to climb. 13 done, 82 for 3.
Normally games are lost with decisions you make on the field. And Abik Patwa was already in the hut when Rajivan had to come out to bat. So obviously he may have been part of the decision making. But there's also been a predetermined decision before the match started that if we get into a situation, just be ready to bat. That's why we're picking you to play, even though there may be an injury. Maybe a question that we need to ask at the end of the match. So a bit of indecision. They've decided to not go with Muketsi. And it's the tall bowler. Is this Chose? Another good tactic and plan, knowing that the batsman is under some duress, to get a fast bowler to perhaps get him to pull his muscle even further. Do more damage without actually hitting him.
Aslam, how do we describe those trousers?
Listen, you asked this, I've been asked this question twice. Someone said earlier that he needed to go to the seamstress, and then I saw that he does have the number 7, which means that is his pants that he's wearing. This is out of choice, I reckon. He may have a sock sponsorship there. Who knows?
Funny enough, I'm not against it because, you know, they had a bit of a more slim fit look to them. There's a South African golfer that's fashionable these days with a real tight fit, and then they don't wear socks. And it exposes the ankles.
Well, that's fashion in golf.
Yes.
He's bringing this to cricket. Is Posa. 2 wide deliveries, both legal, just inside of the short tram line, the little tram line there. The guiding line clearly for umpires.
Just ask Keith Lane just to have a look at his performance, Maposa. Umpire's arm out immediately, and this will be called as a no ball.
Yeah, Jatin's got that knock above his hip, on his left hip. And there's the warning from the umpire, indicating to the leg umpire as well that not just that it's above waist, but also perhaps declaring it a beamer. So that's why the warning has gone out. Free hit available, and the square leg umpire has been notified as well. That must hurt, especially if it hits the upper part of that hip bone. Free hit. They'll stay for 1. I'm obviously in a spot of bother with his fitness, so they stay for 1. So the free hit, not made the best use of it, and he's not middling it. And this, to me, has been the crucial decision off the field that may go against Tanzania in a big way, in a semi-final. Slice of the face of the bat, but he gave it the full swing and swish, and he's got the boundary. They need more of this because that required run rate just over 9. Take this boundary away and it would be closer to 10.
He's probably the quickest bowler that we have seen, and this is what happens when you have that extra bit of pace and you don't get your line right, and it's full. As a batter, you can just throw everything at it. Previous match he went for 27 in 4. His first match 1 for 14 in 3. The control is something he needs to think hard about. Like that. So with the batsman looking to get across, he's gone straight and it's ended up being a wide.
Well, he's certainly not thinking with his captain, because what they've done is they've posted the fielder from the inner ring to sweep at deep backward point. We also have a third man. He brought the fielder in from the leg side. The batsman shimmies across to the offside and he bowls wide down the leg side. So I don't think the bowler has the captain's plan in mind.
Yes, I battled at times to make sense of the captain's fields here.
Top edge, they could do with all the boundaries they can get, because that's what's now required as we get towards or closer to the 15th over. Digs this one in. Batsman takes his eye off the ball, but he gets the edge and full.
Botswana have needed to keep it simple here. Just look to find that length. Drew's bowling well at the other end. But the problem is that the other end, in this case here, Maposa, they're leaking too many runs. So as a bowling partnership, it's not working at this stage. See, there and thereabouts, you've always got a chance. 14 done, 94 for 3. And where were these two teams comparatively?
Come guys, come boys.
Comparison, Tanzania ahead by just 5 runs. Both teams 3 wickets down at this stage at the end of the 14th. The 18th over went for 17 runs. The last over went for just 6. So the 18th over went for 17 runs, and that got them closer to that score of 140. So Muketsi, the spinner, continues from the end where he started earlier, opening the bowling. I was about to say that this may just play into the injured Amal Rajivan's hands, with a spinner in operation. Clearly struggled against the quality of Drew.
I can't help thinking of Paul Adams when I see Muketsi appeal. Very similar. Still say again, he has to have a guy behind at a short fine leg. Not too sure why he's appealing for that. And this will be taken. Wow, gifted a wicket. Muketsi, and it's been an expensive time for him, but right now when Botswana needed a wicket, Jeton has gifted him one, looking for the reverse sweep. Didn't quite get hold of it. Probably not the option one would feel. The left arm spinner's low and skiddy. He won't be happy with himself. So there's still a bit of hope here for Botswana. They're in the match still. That run rate required is starting to climb. So Singh gone for 16 and Tanzania 97 for 4.
It brings me back to the point you made right at the beginning of the innings, that whilst they're the form team, semi-finals and finals are different kettle of fish, different approach. And I do believe that sending an injured batsman in has put Jeton under some pressure. He had to force the pace. He had to do something differently. He chose the reverse sweep and his hold out. And it almost looks like the noose is being tightened around their neck. What can Akil Anil, who impressed us in his first outing, do today? He failed in his last match, which his team still want to qualify for the semi-final. But we saw enough in him at that stage to believe that he still has what it takes to maybe see them through.
Just thinking about Tanzania's batting to come, I forgot about him. You were very impressed with him, Aslam. You had a chat to him afterwards, just asking him about his cricketing history.
Yeah, born in India, just recently settled in Tanzania, and they obviously identified his talents as a spinner, a good fielder, although he had a drop catch in this particular match out in the deep. But it's his batting that certainly is the talking point. Stocky little fellow, powerful arms. It's a lovely way to get off the mark. We still don't have two fit batsmen out in the middle, and that's the issue. He's picked up two. He's going to have to drill it into those spaces where they'll be able to complete 2 runs without too much of a bother, to make sure that he retains and maintains the strike. This plays is over the top. Looks pretty deliberate just to pick up the 1 run.
That first match Tanzania played, it was against Kenya, and it looked as if the match was gone for them. And he came in, he got 57 off 22. He's only about 2 bricks tall, but he hits it a far way. And that was one of the knocks of the tournament. That'll go down and 2 bricks wide. It's that full toss again. And this will be for just when they least need it, Botswana, they're just leaking runs. 15 done, 104 for 4.
So once again, Muketsi drift. It's another one of his famous full tosses, easily dealt with by the injured Amal Rajivan, and he's played it fine enough for 4 runs. So at the end of 15, 104 for 4 Tanzania. Botswana were 100 for 3. Everything to play for. The next 5 overs are going to be very interesting. Hussein Manak and Six Sachalelo will talk you through those 5 overs.
Aslam Kota, Daryl Cullinan, thank you very much. Zainab Assi. It's been the spin duo of Nohand and Dhruv that has halted what Tanzania are in search of. But they're still searching for 43. 30 balls remaining, 5 overs to be exact. Past the outside edge. Has a look at the umpire. Is it doable? Is it not? Do they risk now or do they wait?
Yeah, that's required run rate is climbing. 8.9 to the over, so they're going to have to keep scoring. This is the chance. Out! Just cleared the fielder. Oh, that needed to be taken from a Botswana's perspective, just to put additional pressure. I get another quick wicket here. Then the pressure's on big time. Have a look at this.
It's all about timing. Gets the timing wrong. And if you do get it wrong, those feet do stutter and you fall. Protection out on the deep on the leg side. Steps across and plays it delicately for single.
He's 10 of 12. Amal is a quality player. 11 now. He got a 70, if I'm not mistaken, in the previous match of something like 30 balls. Played some beautiful little drives over extra cover, inside out. He has the ability to take it through.
It's up and over, extra cover. He calls for catch it, but no one's going to. Perhaps one might retrieve it over the ropes. That's 4 runs.
That's a half volley. Wide half volley. And he's just leaned into this and hit it beautifully. In the gap, there's 2 men out there, long off and deep extra cover. This is gone directly between the 2 of them. Nice little pocket.
Oh, the timing isn't there. It was on leg stump. There's 2 men inside the circle around that short, fine square leg area. He's looking to just lap it around or pop it over them. There's tension out there. Who will fold? Who will fold first? Abasi. Outside of stump, cut away. Got to run the first one hard. Tentative about the second. It's taken in the end.
Amal is definitely struggling a little bit. You can see he's struggling. He's coming with an injury. 16 overs bowled. 1-1-3 for 4. But this is nicely played. Well guided behind point, played it nice and late. Karabo Moketse, the Matlanka, the skipper. Sorry, I've got a Karabo Moketse who plays for us at Marks Park at the club. And he's been in the firing line today in the field, hasn't he? Because he's been diving around, jumping around. As a skipper, he wants to be in the circle. But he's not the quickest. He's not the quickest, so...
Or probably doesn't have an arm for the outer ring. Because he's not the sharpest inside the circle. Inzamumal Master. It's the spin that continues for Botswana. And this late afternoon. Semi-final number 2, Uganda have booked a spot already. And a bit of a delay this morning with rain. First game was reduced to 18 overs. Second game delayed as a result of that by 30 minutes. But the ground staff have done an excellent job in that morning session to make sure we got a full game. And the heavens opened up for a bit, and the sun came out. Again, adjustments being made. Karabo Mutlanka just needs to be careful, because we've already seen a side being penalized by the umpires where they needed to bring in a fielder because of their slow over rate. So he needs to be mindful of that. He needs his catches out in the deep. Full toss outside of stump and has a swipe, a couple of bounces for.
Not a great delivery, I'm afraid. You're going to dish up full tosses like that to a quality player, you're going to disappear.
29 of 22 now. Such is the game of T20 cricket. About an over or two ago, they were way behind in terms of required run rate, and that's what it does. That's what pressure does. Steps across the line and paddles them around the corner. One bounce, 4.
Another full toss. This time, Amal walks across to the offside. And, well, he's certainly manipulating balls into gaps. He knows there's no fielder back there, and that's quite deliberate. Even before the ball was bowled, he was moving across.
And so their run rate now is above the required run rate. No, my mistake. Just a bit, 3/10. Pressure goes wide. And signal wide by the umpire.
Yeah, it does look like the strategy here from Master Inzamamal is to try and go wide outside off Yorkers. He's got 6 fielders on the offside.
Swings hard outside off stump. It's a thickish inside edge. Fantastic work. Out on the deep. But equally fantastic running between the stumps.
Yeah, well, if you've got 6 fielders on the offside and only 3 on the leg side and you're still bowling straight, then I'm afraid you're making life very difficult for your captain. He needs to bowl wide outside off stump now, or he needs to move a fielder across, which he's doing now. Fine leg's gone back. One of the fielders at point is moving across. Oh, okay. That was tight.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Ball's in the hand. I think this is why I chose to be a commentator, Hus. Those decisions can be tough at times, but decision made. Oh yes! Akil gets underneath it, and that's a maximum.
He's got hold of this one. He's such a clean hitter of the ball. We saw earlier, hit one over extra cover. And this time he goes straight back over long on. Powerful hit. He's a strong, stocky man. Have a look at this. Beautiful stroke. Lovely follow through.
Hey, this will be interesting. That's a wicket. That's a wicket. The worst way to depart a cricket field. Hit straight back to the bowler, off the fingers, gone.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think that may be the second time we're seeing this in this tournament, a run out like this at the non-strikers end. Not easy to deal with and very unfortunate. You can't really blame the batter. He has to back up, and sometimes there's just no way you can get back on time. He goes for 24, Amal, 132 for 4.
Yeah, untimely, depending where you're from. But for Tanzania, you're well ahead at this stage. 15 to win of 19 deliveries. Here's another look at it. Clearly past that middle finger. And ricochets onto the stumps.
That's Amal, who was injured. He was limping, and I think also because he was struggling with an injury, he was probably trying to back up even a little further just to gain a little extra ground so that he could complete the run on time. Kasim Nosoro.
Oh, is there another twist? Is there another twist? A wicket here, a wicket again. Here's the premier bowler of this tournament thus far. Is there another twist? Can Botswana pick up 2 more wickets here, cause panic in the Tanzanian changing room? Yeah, the captain, Karabo Motlanga, had no option to bring Dhruv back into the attack. Starts with a full one, gets underneath it, Kasim Nosoro. And it will just be the single. They can deal in the singles and still get over the line.
Correct. Well, this is the final throw of the dice, isn't it? If the wicket taker, if he can pick up a wicket or 2 here, it may just swing things in Botswana's favour.
Deep square legs inside the circle now, mid-wicket, or rather extra cover. There's a sweeper on offer. Flight! Takes the flight! Takes the flight! 1 bounce, 4. Akil, 20 of 10. Tanzania now needing just 10 runs to win.
That's another delightful stroke from him. Really does swing and hit through the line quite beautifully. It's a lovely straight hit of the ball.
Goes again. Goes again. It will land in no man's land, but they've come through for just a single for all that effort. 9 or 15 now to win Tanzania.
Come, Dhruv.
No.
Get him now.
It's up in the air. Again falls short.
I'm just wondering about the tactics here when they just need 3.5 and over.
Go, Juice.
Could easily just knock it around and get there quite comfortably. It's almost as if they have a...
Boys.
They're chasing a bonus point.
No, they have a train to catch.
No bonus points on offer. So it goes again. It's a thickish edge this time around. And taken. Whether that is smart cricket, it's left to be questioned.
No, that's not, I'm afraid. It's the googly as well. Well bowled by Dhruv. He picks up another wicket. Dhruv Mysooria. And he did see that the batter was lining him up and trying to go over long on or over mid-wicket. Have a look at that. Beautiful bowling. That's the wrong one. He's done it with the long one, with the wrong one. And it's gone straight up.
And it's he himself was very vocal in that huddle, cheering them on.
Akil Anil goes for 21, 139 for 6.
Yeah, Akil probably would have wanted this slightly outside off stump. It was at the stumps. He got onto his wheels, swervelled as well, top edge and taken.
Yeah, you've got to be careful and also be smart about how you go about your business, because the equation can change very quickly. It's 3.4, now it's gone up to 3.7. Suddenly a new batter comes in, a couple of dot balls, and then you lose another wicket. Before you know it, that required run has gone up to 7, 8, and suddenly you've run out of batters, and they may need 8 or 10 of the last over.
Rashid Chauhan. That's more like it. That'll guarantee you a single.
Come touch.
And with that single, end of the 18th, 140 for 6.
Come touch.
Yeah, the other thing about that single is that Harshid, who's the new batter, he stays on strike. Which means Kasim Nasoro, who's the more established of the two batters, is off strike. That's a comparison. Tanzania 140, they 10 ahead at the same stage.
Right arm over. That's leg stump.
Yeah, it was that a bossy over, you feel, where Tanzania really got back into this game alongside that Maposa over. Was all over the show, couldn't find control. He's got the pace, but he'll want to walk away from this tournament, Maposa, with the task of finding a bit of consistency about his bowling. Tatayoa Nechose. It's bowled the 3, economical. Whites and opens the blade for a single.
That's a good quick single and a good bit of fielding too. So it was Kasim Nasoro on strike. That was my mistake. Harshid now is on strike, the new batter.
Oh, Uganda as well, who've secured a spot now in the final for tomorrow. They'll start with their homework now as they can see as to who they'll be playing tomorrow. A game plan against Akil, a game plan against Dhruv. Gonna have to have answers for that specific bowler. Oh, that's picked up and over. No. It looks like now the wheels are falling off for Botswana. The writing's on the wall.
That's quite cleverly played though. Found a way to just ramp it over short fine leg. And you can see Shose is not quite sure what happened there. He's a little confused, but that was a clever little shot. Risky, yes, but he got away with it.
Just the 2 now needed. They'll be happy to do it with some balls to spare, Tanzania. A look of worry in the Botswana captain's face. Over the top, and there it is. Tanzania register themselves in the final of the Africa Cup T20. They'll be alongside Uganda. What a performance, what a chase, what a match.
Yeah, they'll be pretty pleased. They were the favourites coming into this because we just felt they were the stronger of the two teams. But Botswana, you've got to give them a lot of credit. They fought all the way to the finish, and they played some good cricket along the way. Having lost their first match of the tournament, the first morning, lost the toss, were put into bat. Wasn't easy, but they had a few really good players in their mix, including the captain, Karabo Matlanka. Shosi was good, and Dhruv Maisuria. And they will have a few other good players in between there as well, and got to give them a lot of credit. But Tanzania in the end, that's a happy looking change room. They've made the final, having arrived here very late, and we informed that they were going to be part of this tournament only after Nigeria were withdrawn from the tournament. So they're a replacement team, and imagine they can go on to win the tournament. What a fairy tale ending that would be for Tanzania.
Head down as he walks off, Gregory Karabo Matlanka. But he should hold his head up high alongside his side. What they've done, they've put Botswana cricket on the map. They've played good cricket at times. They've got a spinner, they've got a captain, got a bit of pace about them, but they just couldn't put it together today when it mattered. And for Tanzania, as you say, the story, a beautiful story of Tanzania arriving at this tournament. Perhaps they will be the last to arrive, and maybe, just maybe, the last to leave. Tanzania win by 4 wickets. Semi-final number 2. As the sun sets alongside, that's what it looks like. Ashok Patwa by Nohende, gone for 25 of 30. Ishmael, 13 of 6. Salim Jumbe, 28 of 18. Rajivan, 24 of 17. Akil Anil, sent in to take his side over the line, 21 of 12. 149 for 6 with some balls to spare.
Bowling summary: 2 for Moketsi, 1 for Nahonde, 2 for Dhruv Maisuria, who takes his wicket tally. I think up to 11. He's the highest wicket taker at the moment in the tournament by 1 or 2, and he may just stay there depending on what happens tomorrow in the final. But that's him for the tournament, and that's Botswana for the tournament. Let's go down to Aslam Kota, who's with the winning captain.
Thank you very much, Hussein. Abik Patwa, the captain of Tanzania, alongside me. Congratulations on a fine win. Your team's in the final.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're in the finals. 4 wins and a trot. We're looking forward for the finals tomorrow now.
When you entered the tournament and being summoned almost on the 11th hour, what was your thinking at that stage? We just want to be part of this tournament and be part of, experience what's going on there, and now you find yourself in the final?
I've mentioned this before as well. Look, we've been itching to play a tournament, and this was the right opportunity for us to come in. I never had a doubt that we'd just be here as participating team. We'll be here to win the cup, and we're just one game away from doing that. So I never had a doubt that our boys won't be doing anything. We'll just be participating here now.
Well, I must say, from a commentary point of view, we sense that in your chats with us and also in just the way the team has gone about their work. Explain, I need to ask you this question, explain why you risked to play an injured batsman in Amal Rajivan and then also putting him up the order?
Look, that's how he is. He's confident, and he puts the injury behind, and he wants to play. He wants to be out there. He's always is that kind of player that is scratching himself to be out there, and that is why we said, look, if you're confident, we're confident as well. You want to go play your game, you play your game. So that's how he is, and we 100% back him, and you know that the results show as well.
I must say that we felt that this perhaps was the wrong decision made from the dressing room, but nevertheless, you've pulled it off. Well done. See you tomorrow in the final.
Thank you very much. See you.
Remember that man, remember the side, remember Tanzania, because what they've done, they've booked themselves a spot in the final. A look at the highlights and how they went about their run chase. All is important how you start in the power play in the run chase, Hussein.
Absolutely. Ivan Ismail, he was off to a flying start. And the skipper as well, Abik Patwa. They both of them strong, who do not hesitate in the power play to have a go and hit the ball over the top or through the infield, just like that. And then there was this appeal. And I think what had happened here is Ivan Ismail was a little bit frozen from the appeal and lost his footing, went for the run and was run out in the end. And then they brought in Salim Jambo early on. He came in at 3 and his role was simply to put the bowlers under pressure, and that's exactly what he did. And he batted quite beautifully. Some powerful stroke play. He ended up with 28 of just 18 deliveries. Eventually he was caught at mid-wicket of the bowling of Dhruv Maheswaria.
Yeah, it continued the search of the remaining runs to get themselves over the rope. Opportunities here and there as well from Dhruv, who continued on one hand, but you felt, yeah, the Maposa and Abbas introduction to the attack gave them license to play their shots.
Yeah, you do feel Botswana just bowled too many loose deliveries. There were also a couple of chances that went down in between. Not great fielding on the day from them, but too many full tosses, loose deliveries, wide half volleys like that, scoring opportunities. And you feel another full toss there. Tanzania were just too good on the day. There we go, just too many loose deliveries. To quality batters, you're not going to get away with those, I'm afraid. And then that man, Akil Anil, he deposited a few over the boundary rope. Eventually, that was a run out of the injured man that Aslam was talking about. Amal at the non-strikers end. Akil Anil continued to play his shots, but you live by the sword, you die by the sword. He went for another big one and one too many. The googly got him and he was caught at cover of a looping top edge. And then it was finished off in the end. Those were the winning runs, and that took Tanzania to victory and into the final. They win comfortably by 4 wickets in the semi-final.
And as the sun set, it has already set for a side that was promising. Botswana registering 146 for 7 in their 20 overs. Nahonde 45 of 43. Mutlanka, the captain, 34 of 29. It was Kasim who picked up 2 for 24 in his 4 overs, assisted by Ali, Yalinde and Hashid. And we felt they were about 20 runs short. Tanzania got off to a slow start, but eventually got going. Lost wickets here and there, but Salim 28 of 18. Abik 25 of 30. Amal 24 of 17. But you feel it was Akil 21 for 12. Really pushed him over the line. But Dhruv, take nothing away from him. He'll take a lot from this tournament. 2 for 13 in his 4. Mukwetsi 2 for 45 in his 4. And that's how Tanzania win this match by 4 wickets. And so, tomorrow, the big day, the final.